Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and today we've got an unboxing of a game called Sword Sorcery. This is from Vastaryous Games and it is the Kickstarter edition of the game. Gremlin project right there in the far bottom left corner. This game is very, very deep. I don't know if you can see how far down my hand goes, but it's almost up to my wrist in thickness. It is not a small box, that's for sure. It's got some serious depth. It's also very, very shiny, has a lot of gloss to it, so hopefully you can see it and there's no shimmer off of it. But I'm really excited to unbox this. I'm not going to get too much into the specifics of this and the background of it, but this was a game on Kickstarter that was very, very popular. Vastaryous Games has come out with a ton of games that have picked up like wildfire and people have really enjoyed them. The game's mechanics and backstory essentially are built off of a game called Galaxy Defender. So for those of you who have played that game in the past and you start playing Sword and Sorcery, you'll feel very much at home with the mechanics and the rule set of the game. But I believe what they've done is they progressed that system to a more efficient route so that there's less maybe downtime and there's more fluent and more efficient kind of actions taking place. So less time spent wasted, I guess, or just fiddliness. However, I can tell you there is a lot to see in this game just based on what I'd seen that was going to be packed into this Kickstarter. There's a ton of stuff in this box. The one thing I'm going to mention though is that they will be doing a retail version of this, which obviously won't have the Kickstarter edition on the front. The other thing is off screen, which you guys can't currently see right now. I also got, and I don't even know how to pronounce this correctly, but Vastaryous Lair, which I believe is like a three-headed dragon type expansion. On top of that was a white box full of a whole bunch of stretch goal related material. And of course some of the Kickstarter stuff's actually in this box as well. So what we're going to do with this video, this unboxing, because we're already 2 minutes in, I do not want to put you into Snoozeville, but essentially we're going to be opening this box right away right now. And in another unboxing video to follow, we're going to do the layer video with the three-headed dragon, and then we'll be doing the stretch goals in that video as well. So it'll be 2 videos to cover all the content because there is a lot. So let's get into it. The box itself, like I said, very, very big and also very, very heavy. I'll flip it over here on the back so you can kind of see what's on the back. It's actually fairly clean looking box art on the back. It's actually kind of hard to see right now, but it's very dark. So it doesn't pop as much as the front, but what we're going to do is flip it over and I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to cut through one of these edges here and we'll just start from there, rip our way into this monster. Now this is a very, very much a miniature themed dungeon crawler. So this thing's going to have quite a bit of miniatures inside of it. I'm already noticing just from the packaging here, I got a little bit of dent you can kind of see in the boxing, and that's probably the fault of the shipping and stuff like that, but it's just on that corner it's dented, but at least it looks like the game contents probably are unaffected by that. I'll take a dent over a gigantic smashing, or a box smashed any day. So there we go. We've taken off all the plastic wrap, and now what we'll do is flip this over. You can see the color difference on the front is ridiculously bright, which is a good thing, because you always want your games to pop on the shelf. And I like the art. The art's very much nice. The one thing that really comes to mind when I look at this game, style-wise, is I very much think of World of Warcraft. It's got that vibe to it, and even in terms of the dungeon crawling aspect, the majority of it just feels like kind of a World of Warcraft-ish type thing. But again, remember, this is a dungeon crawler, so I'm just making that comparison strictly on art style, really, more than anything else. So we're going to go ahead and crack this thing open, which is, again, a very deep, deep box. So, as you can see, it does come with quite a bunch of miniatures in this guy. So, it's not short on that, that's for sure. So, we've got... well, here's one for instance. This guy's looking pretty cool. Wow, that's a really nice one. He's not exactly the friendliest guy on the block, but he is a big, gigantic, kind of looks like the Balrog with the giant whip thing going on there. So they've individually packed all of the enemies. So there's going to be orcs, there's going to be werewolves, and they're color-coded. This is one of the things I really like about what they were doing with this game, and one of the reasons that attracted me was the fact that you could sit this down and play it as is without painting it because it color-coded the different enemy types. They've also done multiple poses, I should say. So in other words, you might have 6 of one enemy, but all the enemies kind of are posed differently. So it just gets rid of that same kind of look. So if you throw down 6 orcs on the board, they don't all look exactly the same. It's also easy to distinguish, like I said, what level of difficulty you'll be running up against in the monsters based on their colors. Those types of things are really nice and a good addition. So let's just pick a bag here. I'll try to find one that I think is, I mean, they're all cool. They're all really cool looking. What's this one? Oh, I just chucked something. There's so many little parts in this. Oh, these might be the heroes themselves. Oh, let's just open this one up. Okay, so I'm gonna turn to this one. I don't know what's in here just yet, but we'll find it really quick. I really like the tray they've put here because you can just drop your guys right in. So here we go. Here's a bunch of, they kind of look like necromancer-ish type guys, but you can see in a second here, because I'm kind of doing this off camera, they have very, very different poses. So there's a bunch of them, and they're all kind of like standing differently. Again, I'm not familiar with who is who and what is what. And also this unboxing won't be me going through every single miniature because there is going to be a ton. But you can see detail-wise, they're pretty nice. Like if you wanted to paint them and stuff like that, there's a lot of detail to be seen in these guys, right down to their, if the camera's picking that up nicely. And I do enjoy painting, so I'll probably think about painting this in the near future, although this is a ton of content to try to get through if I was going to go ahead and paint it, but something to think about anyway. So this is basically the main tray. You're going to get, there's probably what looks to be about 8 to 10 miniatures per pocket. So if there's about 6, 7, 8, 9 pockets, you're probably talking like 60, 70 miniatures. It might be a little less now. It might be about 50 in this top shelf and stuff like that. That's pretty impressive. You take this shelf out and you get right to the contents of the rule book, which is underneath. So the rule book is rather thick. So Immortal Souls right on the front. This is based on the Kickstarter. This is a pretty thick rule book. This actually goes 53 pages deep, so it's a big one. Again, there's a lot of space, so even though it seems like a really heavy rule book, there's quite a bit of space on it, and there's also a really good look of examples and things like that in the book. I've heard some people, and I've already read a few people reading this book cover to cover as the first rule book they've ever read before, cover to cover. So that's kind of exciting to hear, is that people were able to read through this and it wasn't putting them to sleep. It looks like they do a good job of putting enough examples in there. You can see like there's your attack examples and stuff like that. Just a few of them anyway that you can check out. So things you can just try to figure out all the different combinations of stuff. But it's a rule book is a rule book and only makes sense when you're actually learning how to play. So I'll skip past that. Let's get into some stuff. Oh, this is a really cool part about Sword and Sorcery, and that is most dungeon crawlers don't do a very good job of this, and that is creating its own storybook. So there are, and I shouldn't say it because there's quite a few that have great stories, but there are some that don't. And I really like the fact that the Sword and Sorcery idea behind it is to build things into acts. So you've got essentially like your quest setups and your events and kind of how you end a quest. And there's lots of tokens in this game, by the way, guys, like a crazy amount. So as you can see right here, your prologue quest is Act 1, Quest 1. Tells you what enemies to use, the event decks, how to set them up. It also shows you your quest setups. This is basically how it's going to look on the board when you lay it out. Shows you all your tokens. So very much like if you're familiar with many dungeon crawlers, this will do a good job of, this is what you're going to want to have in front of you for setup, 100%. And it looks very easy to see, read, and everything else. This one here is the Book of Secrets. Now, I don't want to necessarily spoil anything, so when somebody says the Book of Secrets, to my understanding, this is yes. So this is going to be legitimately, as you progress through the game, hit certain points, decide to maybe kill someone, not kill someone, go for an objective, not go for an objective. You're going to have a Book of Secrets that's essentially, and I'll just show you an example if I can get to a title, but like right there has like a story event essentially, event 3 for 4.23. So like stuff will reference this Book of Secrets along the way, and this is going to be really handy. And again, a really nice addition to making a dungeon crawler a little more interactive and engaging. This right here is a couple, oh, this is crazy. So this is actually a Sword and Sorcery Kickstarter edition component. So again, retail version won't have this, but this is just like your checklist. I really appreciate them doing this. There's not a lot of companies that actually lay out every item that you're supposed to get. And so this is really handy to be able to look at and say, yeah, did I get everything in the box that I was expecting? So that's kind of handy. And then of course, you've got like kind of a reference sheet, and I love reference sheets. There's nothing better than a good one-sided or two-sided reference sheet to help you out during gameplay, to ensure that if there's still, just in terms of sequence of things, they're easy and at hand without having to dive into a massive rulebook. This, I believe, if I'm 100% correct, is part of a Kickstarter stretch goal. This, it looks kind of funny, but really what this is a card holder. So what this will end up doing once I punch it out is it'll build itself a card holder that'll come out of these different areas and allows for cards to sit, I believe, 6 across, 6 deep worth. And this is a Sword and Sorcery kind of Kickstarter exclusive. And then, of course, on the back of these, you've got tiles and punch boards galore. I think on the sides here, there's about, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different punch boards in terms of the amount. And I can tell you these are long. Like, this box is fairly long. You can see it fills a screen. It's quite heavy too. It's got a lot of depth. I also believe they printed these on some really nice thick tiles, which is awesome. So I'm not going to rip these open just yet because I want to kind of keep going here at a decent pace, but I'll potentially look at that in a second. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff in here. So you get yourself a really nice, little Sword and Sorcery bag. I'm assuming this is for dice. Again, more miniatures. So again, we can rip into these. And what I'll probably do for this one, which will make a lot more sense, is this is going to be an unboxing. I'll keep on explaining what I'm seeing, but we'll do a component overview for this one because I think this one deserves it. There's so many miniatures that the only way to get all this on camera and organized would be to rip them all out of the packaging, put them on the table, and let you see it up close. So instead of me ripping every single bag open and you guys suffering through that, even though that would be fun, I'm sure, there's no way I could cover all the miniatures in this game in one video. So I'm going to put them all out on the table and we'll go through them one by one, just kind of take a look at them. I think that'd be a lot easier of a way to do it. So again, miniatures. You got a bag of dice here. So here are some, now these little black pieces that are inside this bag, I guess, are going to be for your spin dials, I believe, that are in the game. You get yourself a nice set of Sword and Sorcery dice, which I think is really cool because they actually made dice specific to this game. And I think that's really cool. Most companies do that with their games, but these ones are really fancy looking. As you can see, they got lots of multiple different sides. Again, I'd be terrible at trying to describe what those particular sides mean, but I guarantee you very shortly I will learn. So you get yourself a nice bag of 4 and 4 there, and I believe in my Kickstarter extra boxes you'll see more of those dice. I believe they provide you with even more. So here's something else to see as well, is the packets of cards. And these are really cool. They're tarot-sized cards. So in other words, you'd be looking for something like Fantasy Flight sleeves make tarot size. If I grab them, I'll just grab them right now. I believe these are the ones that you'd want to get. If you wanted to potentially sleeve this pile, you'd be looking for these ones here. Of course, other companies make them, but this is one company that has them, and I have a couple of these spare laying around because there's not many tarot-sized card games that I currently own. So that'll be perfect for these, but these essentially are going to give you your movement, your attack. So in other words, when you hit certain things, I think on the dice, and I could be totally wrong on this because I'm really not sure, but I think these are like your, yeah, they're like your enemy scrolls is what they call them. This looks like it's Galaxy Defender based, because that is definitely not a fantasy based type situation. And this one could even be the same thing. I don't know. I'm not sure which ones are going to be for this game, but there were some Kickstarter edition extras that were supposed to cross over to Galaxy Defenders as well. So just in case you're wondering what the heck you're looking at, this is a whole bunch of player boards. So this is player boards for all the heroes in the game. I imagine these are the base heroes, although I could be wrong. Could be for every single one of them, but they got really nice artwork on the back and front. They're also very, very thick. There's tons of them. This one I don't mind opening up because there's only one of them. I'm not going to, like I said, I won't get into the miniatures because that could take forever, at least in this video. But I will definitely pop these open for you guys to see in this for the player boards because I think these are actually really cool. So you've got kind of individual insets, and these are on thinner paper. And so these are each of the different ones. So you've got like, so this is what I mean by art style. You can really see what I was talking about earlier in terms of art style. It's really got that MMO-ish type vibe to it in terms of style. And I really like that because I don't really have many games in my collection that are like that. And then of course you've got an actual solid punch out. So I think this is where things get a little different. If I go through these, there's lots of different characters, that's for sure. I'm not sure, and I'm going to do a really bad job of telling you which ones are Kickstarter exclusives and which ones aren't. But you can see, here you go, the thicker ones. So I think what ends up happening is you get thin ones here, and I'm not sure if the thin ones, I'm really not sure what the difference is, but essentially you've got some thin ones here that you can use, but they've also created really, really heavy cardstock, and as of right here, they match, right? So from this point on, you can get the thicker cardstock. I'll have to compare them with the other boxes of stuff I have to see if they're just they essentially gave me the lighter version and the heavier cardstock version on purpose, but that's the idea behind that, is to just give you the options, I'm assuming. There's a whole bunch of cards, which you can kind of see at the bottom there. So there's got a whole bunch, which again, we might have to do the component overview because it looks like there's tons. But this one, for instance, is like a taunt, the Knight of the White Rose. And so there's a whole stack of cards we're going to have to go through in that one. What else do we got here? We got event cards. So events that are going to occur within the game. And these, I imagine, are... Oh, these are darts. Each hero within 2 areas is attacked. So these are going to tell you things that are going to happen in the areas you're playing through. This one here is a Krogan. So I believe these ones are actually specific to heroes. These are kind of like your hero abilities. They cool down. As you can see, there's like Roman numeral-ish type things there. I'm not 100% sure on how this works, but I believe they turn like this when you're using and activating them, stuff like that. So this one says it's a talent chosen by the gods, automatically succeed a save roll, stuff like that. So those are really things that are going to help your hero out. This one here looks like it's a bunch of item cards. You got like a spear, and there's a whole bunch of stats there that aren't going to do me any good trying to explain. This one here says Death Dealer, and it's, again, some more cards. I'm going to have to dive into the rules to figure out what exactly that ties into. And then of course, there's your Galaxy Defenders stuff as well. I think there's a Galaxy. Oh, no, maybe it's not. That might be Sword and Sorcery as well. Can't tell. Oh, no, it has a Sword and Sorcery logo on it. So I'm not sure if those are Galaxy Defender stuff or not, but that may or may not be the case. But I do know there's some mix in there. They got some promos of both. So that essentially is the base game of Sword and Sorcery. Now this, again, I didn't go through too many of the cards. So what I'll do maybe is just I'll cut into some of these cards so we can see more of them, because I'm sure you guys are interested in that. I'm not going to do the cards in a separate component video because that, to me, is just kind of a waste of time. I'd rather do them right now so you guys can see them during this unboxing. So here's the biggest stack, or at least one of the biggest stacks that was here. So you've got yourself, okay, so you got, oh, that's right, because I forgot. In this one, you can kind of go light or dark. So you got kind of like, you know, the light side, dark side of your characters. And it looks like each one has a different kind of vibe to it, right? So for each hero, you've got different cards. Divine Aid, Rune Detonation, what did I say? Rune Detonation, Detonation. Channeling, come back to me. Channeling, Arcanist. So it's like a whole bunch, so you got a whole bunch for each one, and then of course you get into things like items and stuff like this. Rose Shields, Shield Mastery, Rain of Arrows, Backflip, Precise Strike, all kinds of things. These are going to be hero specific, obviously, is all these cards here. There's a whole bunch of them because there's a ton of heroes. And then it gets into, okay, so now you're getting to your item cards. I'm sorry for the focusing. I'm going to try to get this thing to catch me here. There we go. So heavy armor, chainmail, some more chain. There's medium armors here, light armors, leather vests, arcane robes, healing potions. Some really nice artwork. It looks really cool. I like it. Again, I'm not going to focus too much on the bottom stats because I'm not going to be able to explain to you what they actually mean, but very cool looking, the cards. Ooh, that's really nice. Enchanting Anvil. That's pretty cool. Battle Sword, Broadsword, Longsword. Well, if you wanted swords, you've got your choice of quite a bit of stuff. So there's all kinds of stuff there. Then you get to, I don't even know what these are. These are like assault cards. These... Now it's some, oh, activate all purple enemies, others. Okay, so these are going to be like your automated decks, essentially. I'm assuming they're going to automatically force certain characters to move on the board. So this is going to be great when we go ahead and play this solo. Because again, this is I believe it's a 1 to 4 player game. And I don't know if they put it on the box itself. No, it's probably in the back or in the rulebook. But if my mind is correct, I think it's 1 to 4. It might be 1 to 5, but I think it's 1 to 4. So again, guys, I want to let you know, first off, I'm not going to go through the rest of the stacks, but I will, well, I don't know, maybe I will. The one thing I do want to mention, though, is that I will be doing a playthrough of this at some point in the future. This is obviously more of a monster than what I'm typically used to showing on my channel. But you know what? It's right up there probably with Gloomhaven, and I did a pretty epic journey of probably 120 videos or so at around 23 minutes each on average, or 20 minutes each on average of Gloomhaven, and I'm sure if I was able to manage that I can manage doing an epic kind of solo campaign with you guys for Sword and Sorcery. So if that's something that you guys think you'd be interested in seeing in order to determine whether this game would be something you'd like to purchase in the future, let me know by giving me a like in the on the video, and then at least I'll get a gauge as to how many people are really gunning to see this thing in action. Otherwise, we might end up doing kind of like a one-off type scenario or something like that, or a couple scenarios just to give you guys a feel of the game. But if you really want to see like a campaign play or something like that, I could try to do that. Although I can tell you right now, it'd be a Gloomhaven's type endeavor, so it'd be pretty heavy. But hey, if that's what the people want, that's what the people will get. So we got darts here, flames, ice spikes. They all have, and they also, the one thing I really like about this too is they've seemed to have gone ahead and done a really good job with the text on the cards. I really like that, like, easy to see, easy to read, and also they've bolded things that are really important. So I'm assuming during the rulebook they'll say things like save does this, blinded does this. So it's really focusing you in on the things that matter on the card rather than just reading a wall of text. So that's really cool. There's all kinds of great stuff in here, like tons of items and tons of stuff, like just ridiculous. Artifacts. We've never seen artifacts like town portals and crowns and all kinds of cool stuff. This is going to be incredible. Like, I can't even, I just went through like the first 5, I don't even know how many cards in this first little junk here, or first little pile of junk here, but this is just like endless. This deck is just massive. So the funny thing is I kind of like sleeving my games. This game is going to be one of those ones where it's like, holy, I hope I have the sleeves ready for this one, because there is a ton. I don't always sleeve everything, but typically if a game has good enough artwork and good enough cards that I don't want to see them damaged, or I wouldn't want to buy to replace them, I typically sleeve it. That's usually my mindset. So there's some games I'll just look at and go, unnecessary. Like Too Many Bones for me is an unnecessary sleeve at this point, because the cards are made of PVC and they're so strong that there's just absolutely no reason to sleeve them. However, my mind may change over time if I start seeing wear and tear on them. But a game like this just has so many cards that it's scary to even think about trying to sleeve these. So, and I just wanted to let you know that this, just to give you a teaser before I end this video, this is essentially the white box of extras that I've got, which is fairly thick and decent. This is going to be a whole bunch of extras that go with the game. In the next video, you're going to see this box opened up. On top of that, you're going to see this box opened up, which is an expansion for Sword and Sorcery. And this one's another one that's going to be quite entertaining to kind of crack open. So, if you guys are interested in sticking around and coming back for the next video, that will be the one that we're cracking open along with the white box, and we'll see what's inside of that. So again, give me a thumbs up if you want to see gameplay of this in the future. Can't say it's going to be like immediate, because I've got to digest the rules, but I guarantee you it'll be happening if you guys are into it. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hope this really helped you out in deciding on whether or not this is a game that interests you. Until next time, as always, keep on rolling solo.